So I'm completely done collecting Pokemon cards. I've completely retired. I've completely put the idea of opening packs, opening boxes, ETBs, UPCs, you name it. I'm done collecting Pokemon cards. And I'm not a lifetime Pokemon card collector. Rather, I'm a lifetime Pokemon fan. So I grew up on the video games. I didn't start collecting the cards heavily until 6 months ago. Now, as a kid, I had my little collection, you know what I'm saying? I had my little starter boxes and what have you, but I couldn't really collect on the magnitude that I was collecting on a few months ago. And I wanted to just kind of explain my reasoning and my opinions on what's going on and why I feel the way I feel about collecting Pokemon cards and what I really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because for the last 6 months I got to really see the ins and outs of the industry, the business, the hobby. I even got to work as a rip and shipper at a popular card shop. But yeah, so it all starts last year. I go to Japan, I believe in December, and Japan has this very embracing culture towards anime, video games, collectibles, and when you go to Japan, in some of these cities, they have entire towns dedicated. They have towns that's dedicated to anime, video games, computers, just like pretty much like nerd central, right? And I'm in Japan. I'm going crazy. I'm collecting video games. I'm collecting video game systems. I'm buying new Nintendo 3DSs. I'm buying the PS Vita. You know what I'm saying? Just everything. In Japan, they have these stores where um they just have Pokemon cards just on the wall, just lined up, right? And you just walk around the store and you hand pick the Pokemon cards that you want. So by the time I got back from Japan, I had a stack of Pokemon cards like this. And this is a person that doesn't normally collect Pokemon cards. So I get back to America. And one thing I didn't mention about Japan is that in Japan, like all the Pokemon you're trying to buy in Japan is way cheaper than what you're paying over here in the United States. So a pack of Pokemon cards over here, it could be like $7. In Japan, a pack of Pokemon cards is $1. So everything you buy in Japan is literally worlds cheaper. There's no tariffs. You're right there, and it's tax free. They're not charging you taxes on none of this stuff. So you can buy these video games at a fraction of the price. I think a PlayStation 2 in Japan is like $30 for real. It's just if you have the baggage space in your luggage to actually, you feel me, get it back over here. But you could go on the haul. You could buy whatever you want when you go to Japan at a reasonable price. Let me just give you an example real quick. Um, give you an example, two examples. Ruby and Sapphire, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire for Nintendo 3DS. These games right here, over here, like $60 games. In Japan, these are like $15 a piece. And then when you have it, um, you could convert it to English on your 3DS in the cartridge because the cartridge got all the languages on it. So yeah, just like that, I'm in Japan. I'm buying video games. I'm buying Pokemon plushies. I'm buying Pokemon cards. I'm buying Nintendo 3DS systems. I'm just having a ball. I'm in Japan. I'm going crazy, man. So I get back to the United States and I have like this bug to like keep collecting Pokemon cards. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like satisfied with where my gaming collection is at. I just have Nintendo DS games. That's it. That's the only thing I collect is like Pokemon games, Nintendo Switch games. That's the only thing that's like collectible to me is just Pokemon stuff. But I got this itch to collect Pokemon cards when I got back home. So that leads me to going to Walmart, Walgreens, Target. I'm just picking up whatever I see. I'm just picking up whatever I see. It gets to the point where I begin to accumulate a lot of Pokemon cards. And it gets to a point where every day I woke up, I got on Facebook Marketplace, I got on OfferUp, and I was looking for people selling Pokemon cards. Or I was trying to go to a local card store to just buy Pokemon cards. Now, there's a phenomenon that occurred inside of every card store that I went inside of, every card shop. So I'll go into a card shop. Maybe in my head, I'm looking to spend $50 when I go inside. Every time I went inside of a card shop, I ended up spending probably 10x whatever I intended to like walk in there and spend, because I'd go in there and pick this up, and then I'm picking this up, and then I'm picking this up, and I'm getting all this shit. And it's like, damn, you just spent $400 on some Pokemon cards, which is cool because I have the cards in my hand that's worth the 400. But like, here's where it gets nasty. So this happens over and over, or it's over a period of time. Like over a period of time, I've indulged to the point where I've sunk so much bread into Pokemon cards and collectibles and stupid shit that I'm like, what am I doing? You feel me? I had this app that would calculate the total value of my collection, and it was a nice little number. So I'm like, okay, they kind of pitched this whole Pokemon thing to you as an investment. They're like, oh, you could get rich with Pokemon, or people are making millions of dollars with Pokemon cards. People are doing this, people are doing that. But what they don't tell you is you gonna collect these cards trying to invest. You're gonna try to make a business out of this. But when you try to recoup some of that money, when you try to recoup some of that capital, you know what's going to happen? Someone's going to try to convince you that your stuff is worth less. And if this is like just a hobby for you, you're not going to be ready for the tigers and lions and bears out here that's trying to undercut everything. You heard that key term I use, bears, like from crypto, from investing, you got bulls and bears. You got people that's going to undercut you for your collection or for your Pokemon cards. And that's in every business. That's everywhere you go. It could be the stock market, it could be cryptocurrency, it could be GameStop. People are going to undercut you. But the problem with the Pokemon thing is they try to make you believe that this stuff is worth so much, but then when you get into a situation where you want to sell, you end up taking the hit. And I made that mistake. I made that mistake at Collecticon, and I ended up losing pretty big because I sold some very valuable cards, and I took a decent hit on them. Now I got some cash, but I took a pretty big hit. And then what ended up happening was like the cards that I had left, it was like instead of it being like 10 cards that's worth like 10,000, it was like 500 cards worth like 10,000. So I can't get this stuff off unless I'm gonna sit here and sell every $5 card, every $6 card on eBay, take it to the post office, ship the card, do all this crazy stuff. It's like I had to get rid of this stuff. That's how I was feeling. So that's exactly what I did. And I ended up taking a loss because I just wanted to get out of it so bad. And I was actually disgusted with myself. I was actually disgusted with myself that I had allowed something like that to happen. And I didn't realize quite the grip that Pokemon had on my life at that time. So I realize it now, and I'm just out of it. Like as a fan of Pokemon, I'm a fan of the video game, and I always enjoy the video game. You spend $60 one time, you can enjoy that game for as long as you want, as many times as you want. With these cards, it's like you get the chase card today, and next month they're going to release another chase card for you to sink your money into that set trying to chase that card. So let's take Surgeon Sparks, for example, that Pikachu that's $500. I opened a couple booster boxes from Surgeon Sparks. Each booster box was 200 or two something. I never got the Pikachu. So it's actually gambling, right? Let's take Prismatic Evolutions. I opened I think I opened about 12 prismatic ETBs, and each ETB was about $100. And the first few ETBs I bought, they were like 130 or 140 when the set was really hot. And I wanted an Umbreon. I wanted an Espeon. I ended up buying just all the singles. I ended up selling that for like close to what it was worth. So I didn't lose money on those cards. But like with the prismatic ETBs that I opened, I did not pull close to what I had spent on those ETBs. And that happening over and over again over a course of time or over the course of your entire life, it's just too detrimental. So like what transpired for me, and look, this is a yap session, y'all, so I apologize. But what transpired for me for the last 6 months, I can't have that repeated throughout the course of my life. So when it comes to collecting Pokemon cards, I'm just out of it, bro, because it's like you try to enjoy the hobby, but then like this whole market and monetary aspect to it kind of takes away the entire enjoyment of collecting Pokemon cards. Even if you do have some disposable income that you want to play with or that you want to like buy Pokemon cards, don't, because you're gonna lose that money just opening any of this stuff, bro. And then when you do pull that card that you want, everyone's gonna make it their business like, oh, it's a white corner in the side. That's not your fault. So let's say that you do pull the chase card that's worth $500. You pulled the chase card that's worth $1,000, right? If this card is not a perfect 10, it's literally like not even worth what they're saying it's worth. So let's say you have the Umbreon, the chase card from Prismatic, which I had, and I actually purchased it from eBay with the authenticity guarantee, right? I had the Umbreon, right? Went to go sell the Umbreon. Someone's complaining to me about a white dot on a card that's probably $1,500. It was ungraded. I'm like, damn. So it's like you buy this stuff, and then everyone make it their business to try to just knock you down. So if you buy something for $300, you know it's 300. I know it's 300, but everyone is gonna make it their business to convince you that that card is 250. And this happens over and over a course of time. And it's like, and then it's like you don't really want to be sinking your money in the Pokemon cards. So like me as a grown man, like you feel me, I gotta realize I got other responsibilities and I can't be like losing money because I was collecting Pokemon cards like a maniac. So I quit. I'll always enjoy the game because you make one purchase, you can enjoy as much as you want to. But collecting Pokemon cards at this point is just not for me. You know what I'm saying? That level of consumerism, that level of never being satisfied, that level of there's always something else, always a new promo card, always a new chase card, always a new set in Japanese. And let's talk about Japanese, and let's talk about how much money you're going to actually lose collecting Japanese Pokemon cards is insane. Because with the Japanese cards, the sealed boxes of Japanese cards is worth close to what the English boxes is worth. But the actual singles, the actual Japanese cards themselves, is not worth a damn. So the same card in English is worth like 5 times what the Japanese one is. Like Roaring Moon from Prismatic Evolution, I believe that's like a $200 card. Out at Terrestrial Festival, it's like a $20 card. So some of these Japanese cards are worth a tenth of what the English counterpart is worth, but the box is still worth half of what the English box is worth, or sometimes the same as what the English box is worth. Because White Bolt and Black Flare, the new set of Pokemon cards that just dropped, those boxes are going for 150 right now. When Battle Partners was out, I think the first night it was like 145 they were trying to sell the boxes for. Then the price dropped all the way to 75. What I'm trying to say is that there's just better stuff that you could be doing with your money. Let's take that Pikachu Chase card. And I had that card twice from Surgeon Sparks. This Nintendo 3DS, can we focus on that? This Nintendo 3DS LL Japanese is worth the same amount as that chase card from Surgeon Sparks. But that chase card from Surgeon Sparks is merely a collectible. You can't enjoy a gaming experience on there. You can't do nothing with that. You can't do anything with that. Like it's just a card. It's an inanimate object. It can't do nothing for you, right? This is an inanimate object, but it do power on. It do play games. I could play Pokemon Blue, Yellow, Red, Crystal, Green, Leaf Green, Fire Red, Ruby, Sapphire, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Look, Donkey Kong. I could have a whole experience with this Nintendo 3DS versus a card that does nothing for me, but you try to convince me this card's worth $200-300. And I fell for it. And I lost out because of it. Like I said, I probably lost like 40% of what I totally invested at least. And I'm not even calculating all the money I lost from ripping packs. You go watch videos on my channel, all the money I lost from ripping packs is just not, it's not good, bro. It's not good. Like, I'm just shocked. So it's like, it's crazy how like something that's very like fun and beloved could become something very dark and ugly. So like, yeah, like anything in life could become an addiction. You gotta be vigilant out here. You gotta watch out because like I love Pokemon, as you can see, but like in that instance, I allowed like my greed and just insatiability to take control, and I was just opening packs like I didn't want to do nothing else. Now I do have a little 420 habit, and when I quit my 420 habit, I did start going crazy on the Pokemon cards. So like I feel like that's kind of like what kept my brain just kind of. But like when I don't have a distraction, I find a distraction, and I make that distraction like everything. And I feel like because of that, I might have like an obsessive personality when it comes to shit. So, but y'all can learn from my mistakes. The way I'm approaching Pokemon now is I don't collect the singles, I don't collect the cards. But like the sealed product, I feel is a very sound investment, and I feel like it's hard to lose your money on sealed stuff. And I got this stuff not only because it looks good, but just because I know like if I just hold it down, it's gonna be worth something. But like I'm not banking on that. It's just some extra stuff. You feel me? So that's just what I wanted to come here and share with you guys. You know, the YouTubers, man. Like for me, I'm done collecting Pokemon cards. It was a good experience. It was fun. It was interesting. But I realized it was pointless. Like you having the rarest card ever means absolutely nothing. You having a chase, like it means absolutely nothing. And the fact that we're sinking our money into this, paying these live streamers, TikTokers, whatever, bro, scalpers, it's not where it's at, gang. It's not where it's at. There's a lot more to life. And I feel like we get fixated on such crazy stuff sometimes as people, and it's all a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, hopefully, y'all can learn from my experience. It's like what I put into this stuff. I don't think that I received that out of the hobby. You know, I actually took an L. I don't hate Pokemon because of it. I'm just not messing with the cards because people took a hobby and turned it into a business. You know what I'm saying? And for you to make this hobby make sense for you, you might just have to turn it into a business yourself. And yeah, at that point, that's it, bro. So there's the buzzer. I'm out. Limit 6, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Um, but yeah, like I'll always collect the Pokemon videos, video games. I always collect those. And but yeah, the cards, it's a slippery slope with the cards. It is a slippery slope because it's a slippery slope because you're spending your money on nothing and you're not reaching satisfaction. You're never gonna have a set of Pokemon cards in your hand and feel like, all right, this is enough. This is content. If there's another pack to open, you're probably gonna open it and find something else to chase. So stop chasing. You know what I'm saying? And just like for me, the lesson for me that y'all could probably glean something from is like figure out your purpose, but it's not collecting. Collecting is it can never be your purpose. To acquire things cannot be your purpose. I know it feels like a purpose to go out and chase something that you want or to be motivated to get something, but you got to make sure that those feelings of motivation are directed in the right direction. Because I was highly motivated to collect something that doesn't matter. And life has a lot of loopholes or like rabbit holes like that. So like you could be, it's like a video game, like you're making progress, but no one plays this game. A lot of people mess with Pokemon, but it's like you're collecting some shit that don't matter. You're gonna have to get your money out at some point to go do something more important. And when you take that loss, it's gonna be like, fuck, feel me?
What? But you can't do this to me.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?